is Thursday, February 13th, 2020. Last I checked, I'm still Yael Levy, and these are the Cryptosphere's top stories for today. The U.S. Treasury Secretary warns of imminent new crypto regulations. Altcoins aren't dead. In fact, they are outpacing Bitcoin gains. Which are the ones to look at? And later, Forbes lists 6 blockchain companies among the top 50 fintech firms of 2020. U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has his eye on crypto. Speaking at a Senate hearing on Wednesday, he issued a broad but cryptic warning about FinCEN, the U.S.'s financial crime watchdog, preparing to roll out some, to quote him, significant new requirements around cryptocurrencies. Usher Evans is here with us and the statements to try and break this down. And Usher, what exactly happened?
All right, so yeah, an interesting point was raised during this particular meeting, which I think really highlights the way that the U.S. government, and particularly the Trump administration, is choosing to characterize cryptocurrencies in the current sort of climate. One key exchange I picked up on was between Mnuchin himself and Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, who had a very interesting back and forth about how they viewed cryptocurrencies. And let's take a listen.
Mr. Secretary, how will the Treasury's proposed budget increases assist the Department in monitoring suspicious cryptocurrency transactions and prosecuting terrorists and other criminal organizations financing illicit activities with cryptocurrency?
Well, first of all, thank you, and thank the committee for the generous support on us funding increases in these areas over the last several years. We've really built up a very dedicated career staff. And specifically on cryptocurrencies, we are spending a lot of time on this on both an interagency basis and with the regulators. We're about to roll out some significant new requirements at FinCEN. We want to make sure that technology moves forward, but on the other hand, we want to make sure that cryptocurrencies aren't used for the equivalent of old Swiss secret number bank accounts. So we share your concerns, and you'll be seeing a lot of work coming out very quickly.
Well, thank you. And
now, this is interesting because the whole narrative there is we're going to both in the question and the answer, we're going to safeguard the world from the illicit work of cryptocurrency.
Right, exactly. And the fact that they're characterizing that in that framework, that there is this sort of association between criminal activity, illicit activity that's going on, and then, of course, cryptocurrencies are naturally and organically lumped into that group. Now, to his credit, Mnuchin then went later on in a different exchange, about an hour later into the hearing, talking about how the US views different facets of cryptocurrencies and digital assets and how they intend to approach it. Now, he's not a succinct man, so he goes through each in sequence, but it's worth taking a listen.
There's a lot of different things that get grouped together into this one area, so let me just be brief. But on pure cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and there are others, we want to make sure that these are not used as the equivalent of secret bank accounts. So we are working with FinCEN, and we will be rolling out new regulations to be very clear on greater transparency so that law enforcement can see where the money is going and that this isn't used for money laundering. There is another component of the market which people refer to as stable coins, where we do think technology can be used to reduce payment processing quite considerably, particularly for small dollar payments cross-border. And then there's a third component that people are looking at, which is central bank digital issued currency. That is something that Chair Powell and I do not think the U.S. needs to consider now, but could consider again down the road.
Now, Usher, this is interesting because, Fed head, so to speak, Powell, has said something not so definitive about CBDCs, but here's Mnuchin just 24 hours later going, no.
Yeah, well, so practically cutting it down. Now, I suppose Powell, in his role as the Federal Reserve Chairman, has to be a little more circumspect with how to deal with these things. Mnuchin, more of a political actor, can obviously therefore take a more definitive stance. And that being said, it doesn't necessarily reflect the long-term policies of the U.S. beyond the Trump administration.
Sure.
Whereas Powell is in a slightly different position. But interesting to note there, he does make the distinctions. Cryptocurrencies need to be regulated. Stablecoins have a potential use, which is a bit of a change of tune. And could be driven by some of Libra's activities and where that's headed. And CBDCs, no, we're not interested.
For now,
For
as
now.
you
For
mentioned.
now,
It is an election year, but who knows. Usher Evans, thank you for the support.
Pleasure.
Never mind the spike in Bitcoin price, altcoins season is upon us. Not only are they not dead, but the alternative crypto market's explosive $56 billion rise since the start of the year has left the skeptics speechless. We asked BLOCKTV's technical analyst Joe Saz, a notorious Bitcoin maximalist, to tell us which are attractive in his very critical mind.
So XTZ Tezos looking, not alt season-y by my standards, but certainly looking pretty clear that it's part of the hype that we're going into with Bitcoin, and people might be expecting alt season. Jumping into Litecoin USD, just grind. We're doing the same grind. We do have a convergence of multiple bullish crossovers here. So there is a technical reason for this, and I'm still not seeing the same stuff. 17% move, that's great, but again, the thing to really convince me of alt season is going to be things like Tezos pumping, things like Litecoin having a 50% day, because obviously Litecoin has a much larger market cap than something like Tezos does. But, we need something like Litecoin to really, really kick off, and there is good volume here for sure. Jumping into ETH, here, this is a little more indicative of something strong. ETH is clearly very bullish right now.
Another year, another Bitcoin ransom story, this time in the Netherlands. Dutch police are on the hunt for a mail bomber who is demanding Bitcoin as payoff. Crime reporter Jona Hochhauser is here with us. And the story, Jona, first of all, what is happening in the Netherlands?
Right, so starting already Tuesday, earlier this week, there had been mail bombs packages showing up at small businesses in small towns in the Netherlands. Now, these, I must say, these are not explosive bombs. This is more the work of seemingly an amateur. What's been happening is that workers in mail offices and in the mail rooms of these small businesses are hearing hissing noises from the boxes. They're kind of distancing themselves from the boxes.
And then it just goes boom?
And it goes boom. Now, police have described this as the equivalent of small firecrackers. But they are taking this seriously. They are still explosives.
True.
And interestingly, all these packages are coming with Bitcoin demand notes, demanding Bitcoin. Now, the police are refusing to release the exact amount of Bitcoin, or there aren't any suspects. But as of now, we do know that this is ongoing. There are continuous packages being sent. So far, no one has been hurt.
No one has been hurt, thank God for that. That said, this is, has become some sort of a trend. It's not the first ransom demand for Bitcoin, right?
It is not the first ransom demand for Bitcoin, not even the first in the country. Back in 2015, the Netherlands dealt with what was called the jumbo bomber, who would send these explosive mail packages to what's in Netherlands a grocery store chain called Jumbo,
right.
Also demanding Bitcoin. That guy was caught. More interestingly, starting in 2015 in America, over 2,000 threatening phone calls were made to various hospitals, schools, and Jewish community centers. Now, there, the arrest was made against a Israeli-American teen who was later found to be autistic. And interesting there, he was actually putting a service for Bitcoin on a website. He was offering for $30, he would call your school and deliver a bomb threat if you didn't want to take an exam. And on top, if you want to frame a classmate, there was an extra fee. Now we're laughing a little bit about that, but the kid made over $240,000 in Bitcoin at a time of his arrest, now worth over $1 million. He's in jail for the next 7 years, but interestingly, he did not give up his private keys, so that Bitcoin is waiting for him when he gets out.
Wow. Jona Hochhauser, thank you for this full encompassing report. Samsung's new flagship phone, the S20, and its various iterations boast some of the most impressive technical specs out there. It also enables blockchain connectivity, and Zaki Hennessy with us and the details.
That's exactly right, Yael. So Samsung has unveiled the S20, the Galaxy S20 yesterday, and exactly as you said, it's got some incredible specs. It's really a powerhouse, and it will feature support for cryptocurrency. Now, its predecessor, the Galaxy S10, which utilized the Knox security platform to connect to Samsung's Key Store app, it had that kind of crypto accessibility, and they pushed it quite prominently. Now, the S20 is also equipped with the Knox, so the odds are that it'll have the same amount of compatibility. The thing is, though, that they're not really pushing the crypto angle as much as they were with the S10, so the jury is still out as to whether this means the crypto compatibility will be iterated upon in the S20, or if it'll remain a neat feature that's kind of stranded in the background. So we have to wait and see how that develops and what the new phone will bring to the cryptocurrency space.
Thank you, Zaki Hennessy, for this report. Forbes, the authority when it comes to ranking business ventures, has released its list of 50 top fintech companies for 2019, and 6 of them are in the blockchain ecosystem. Ron Spitzer breaks down the list.
Forbes just released its 2020 Fintech 50, and 6 of those are blockchain companies. Under the blockchain and Bitcoin category, the companies listed are Axoni, Chainalysis, Coinbase, Everledger, MakerDAO, and Ripple. Among the 6 companies, crypto exchange behemoth Coinbase received the most funding at $525 million. Ripple came in second with $293 million, and Everledger posted the smallest funding amount at $20 million. The pool of options is very small, it seems. Of the 50 listed companies, 48 are based in the US. The other 2 are based in the UK. The publication further explained this fact, listing a couple of things all our Fintech 50 2020 picks have in common. They're private companies with operations or customers in the US, and they're making it easier, faster, and cheaper to use financial services. It has been said that the best way to cause disruption is to put your money where your mouth is. It seems that the cryptosphere is doing just that.
Time for Troll of the Day, and today we're the ones doing the trolling. Zachy Hennessy, you got something against Cointelegraph?
That's absolutely correct. It seems like those clowns over at Cointelegraph have started a brand new show that they're calling Beer and Bitcoin. It's this crazy concept where they drink booze and talk Bitcoin news, but that sounds a little familiar to me. Oh yeah! That's because BLOCKTV has been producing Blockchain on Booze, our own show where we drink booze and talk Bitcoin news, for a year already. Now everybody knows that there's more than one sheriff in town when it comes to crypto news. BLOCKTV ain't the only one giving you your daily dose. But goddammit, Booze News is our cruise, and if yous rubes choose to use it, you'll snooze in the blue for refusing Amuse views to those whose muse it was, and that's BLOCKTV, baby.
Honey, I was waiting for this.
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Zachy Hennessy. We stand behind every word. This was Around the Block for today. Don't forget to check us out, blocktv.com. We'll be back.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.